Hey guys, what's going on? This is Deadly. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the OBS settings that I use to stream to Twitch. Now keep in mind, my settings are for users that have access to transcoding. What that means is it allows the viewers to watch it on source, high, medium, or low. Some of the bit rates that I use to stream are not recommended for new streamers because you have to keep in mind that when you're a new broadcaster, you don't have that ability and your viewers don't have the ability to watch you at different quality levels. So I'll get into that a little bit later, but this won't be a video that covers Twitch alerts. This won't be a video that covers gaming for good or setting up any follow alerts, donation alerts, sub alerts, nothing like that. And this won't be a Photoshop video to show you how to make overlays, but this is just going to be going through my settings, my scene selections, some ideas with why I do things certain ways, and what I've learned over the years streaming on Twitch. So let's get started. So the first thing that I have here is my switching servers page. Now, if you are a DayZ streamer, this is pretty critical because you don't want to give away what server you're on and what name that you have in game. So having just kind of like a default screen here is highly recommended. And on this screen, I typically have my webcam, but a webcam is currently being used on my second OBS, so you won't see this here. Got my recent sub, recent tip, recent followers. It's good to kind of make sure that you have that stuff at some point. It's really up to you how much information you want to showcase. Some people have a lot of information, a lot of usernames. Some people don't have any. So just pick a style that you want. It's really not that important. It just depends on what type of streamer you are and how many people you want to thank for supporting your stream. Also got like my YouTube, my Twitter. Probably should have my Facebook there as well. And also I have a Twitch chat app. So right down here, I got Twitch chat. We go to the properties. I use a Twitch chat from NightDev, and you can just set this up and like kind of put it into the overlay itself. And so it kind of makes it look nice, kind of looks like a TV screen, things like that. And that's all done through Photoshop. So you're going to need to either get somebody to make these things for you or try to do it yourself. I highly recommend just if you have any friends that know Photoshop, maybe ask them to do something for you. And for the most part, this screen is bound to my number pad 1. So on my number pad, I can actually go through and switch between number pad 1, number pad 2, which would switch here, and then I even have number pad 3, which would switch to a webcam, but it's currently not showing up. Now it's pretty basic, nothing too crazy. We also have the gameplay screen, which features my webcam overlay in the bottom left. Similar idea, shows the recent sub, recent tip, and I got my little webcam overlay. Again, the webcam is currently being used in the other OBS, which is how I'm recording this video, so it's not popping up. And you can use things like game capture, for example, to do DayZ. So you can just hit this little plus button and go to game capture, and then you can just add your game by creating, let's say, example, anything, and then your game will show up in this list, and you just select it and then set it to where you want it in the list. So if your game is all the way at the top, then it will show first, but you got to set it below your overlays and stuff. Nothing too crazy. It's really straightforward there too. But let's get into the meat. So this stuff is pretty straightforward. It's not that difficult to learn how to add, different, game videos, windows, images, videos. Yeah, so it's really straightforward. But what you guys probably want to see is the settings. So let's get into this. So obviously going to be streaming to service is to Twitch. I'm going to be choosing a server. Choose a server that is like closest to you because you want to like make sure that that latency is as low as possible, and go into your Twitch settings to find your stream key. Now, obviously I won't be showing you guys my stream key because if somebody has your stream key, they can stream directly to your account. So it's very critical that you don't show that. So choose a server that's closest to you. Implement your stream key, go into your Twitch dashboard, grab your stream key, throw it in here, and you should be good. Now, this is where things get a little bit crazy, and this is specifically for OBS Studio users. So if you're using OBS Classic, this might be a little bit different for you. So for streaming, I use X264, enforce streaming service encoding settings, enable this. I don't have a rescale output, so don't have this enabled. Now, this is where it's going to get different depending on how many viewers you have. So for me, I average anywhere between 300 viewers a day right now, so I get transcoding. So my bitrate is going to be at 4,000. If you are a new streamer and you're just getting started, the recommended bitrate is about 25,000 or 2,500. So if I was a new streamer, 2,500 would be the maximum that I would stream at. 2,300-ish would be recommended. So just keep that in mind that if you don't have transcoding, you're going to need to set your bitrate lower so your viewers can actually watch. Keyframe interval. Setting this to 2 is what Twitch recommends. So having that set to 2 is important. I have an i7 6700K, which means that I can use a higher CPU preset. Most people, by default, keep this at very fast, but for games like DayZ that have high movement and lots of grass, you're going to need the slower you can have your preset, the better, because it's going to make your stream look higher quality. But you got to keep in mind that the slower that you go, the more CPU that you use, and you can do a lot of damage to your CPU if you don't know what you're doing. So just be careful with that. If you have like an older generation i7 or i5, have this set at very fast and then kind of play around with it. But for me, 6700K or higher, new CPUs, more expensive ones, fast is good. I could even stream at medium sometimes depending on the game, so I leave that as fast. Now, I also record at the same time that I am actually streaming. So the reason why I have to do this is Shadowplay doesn't work with DayZ at the moment in terms of gamma settings, but you can use OBS to record all your streams. So I do this with my NVEC video codec. So this is a different encoder than the one that I use to stream at. This uses my GPU to record. So I have the recording format to MP4, so whatever works with your editor. My encoder set to NVEC, profile, baseline, 2 keyframe intervals, and I have my bitrate at 50,000. You can increase this if you want. The more you increase it, the harder your GPU is going to work, but the higher quality the video is going to be. And I also use rate control CBR. Now, again, some people, one of the solutions, like for example, what Minder does is he streams with OBS Classic and then he records with OBS Studio. And the reason why he does that is, for example, I can't have 2 OBS Studios recording DayZ and streaming DayZ at the same time, like separately. I have to do it both in the same client, and that causes issues. So if you want to record your streams at higher quality, then this is the way to do it if you have an NVIDIA. If you don't have an NVIDIA, you're going to have to use X264, the same encoding as you're doing with your streaming, and that causes issues because you're only going to be able to stream at the relatively the same quality that you're broadcasting to Twitch at, and let's just say it doesn't look that great when you finally get it on YouTube. So if you can, use NVEC. It will make your videos look a whole lot crisper. In terms of audio, I pretty much leave this default. It's, if as long as your recording software, like your microphone, is set to the Windows defaults and your audio device is Windows default, then you should be okay. For me, I actually stream directly to my Astros and I use a Blue Yeti microphone, so I had this set up. You can actually have multiple different audio devices, so you can get pretty ambitious with this. You can also set different push-to-talk mutes for different microphones. You can do a lot of things with this. Like one thing that you can do here would be if you wanted to set up a voice masker, like a silly voice masker, you can set that up here and have a separate push-to-talk, which would be pretty cool. Now, another really important thing in the video section is the base resolution. So the base resolution of my monitor is 1920 by 1080, but the output scale, you scale this down to 720p. The reason why you do this is you get a higher quality per frame. Not that many people can stream at a good bit, like a good crisp bit rate with 1080p 60 frames per second right now. If you do that, your screen is going to look super grainy. The quality of the broadcast is going to suck because you're going to need way higher than 4,000 bit rate. You would need something closer to like 10,000 or 15,000 bit rate to actually stream at a really high, nice quality 1080p 60 frames per second. So to make it the quality as best as possible, most broadcasters downscale it to 720p. And in the future though, if you're playing like a game like Hearthstone or something that's like a little bit less movement, you can stream at 1080p 60 frames per second and it will look beautiful. But for a game like DayZ, you can't do that. Now, this is something that, well, for downscale filters, I use Lanczos. I don't really know how to pronounce that, but that's what I use. And for the frame rates, I've been playing around with this, but honestly, for most broadcasts, I stream at 38 frames per second. It looks smoother than 30 frames, kind of gets a little bit up there. I've also streamed at 48 frames. The reason why I do this, you get more bit rate per frame, you get more quality per frame, so it ends up making games like DayZ look crisper on stream. Even people like Sacriel, they stream at 30 frames per second. There's a reason why that's done. 60 frames looks really grainy, but some people like to see the 60 frame per second character movement more so than, you know, the grass looking crisp. So it can depend on, you know, what you want. So for a game like DayZ, I would honestly start at 30, see what you like, work your way up, maybe 38, try that, try 48, try 60, see what looks good with your quality. The lower the bitrate though, the lower the FPS that I would stream. So if you're a new streamer and you're only streaming at 2500 bitrate, I would only stream at 30 frames because you don't have a whole lot of bitrate to work with. So the lower the frames, the higher quality they're going to be. You know, not everybody can stream at 60 FPS. Now, in terms of hotkeys, you can just go to hotkeys. You can set, like, switch to scene. So I got, like, if I want to switch to my webcam, I press number pad 8. If I want to switch to my my gameplay, number pad 2. You can even set it, like, if I wanted to hide my webcam, like sometimes I have people walk into my office that don't want to be on live stream. I can press number pad 5 to hide that webcam really fast. I can switch to my intro whenever I want with number pad 7. So as you can see, there's like a lot of awesome hotkeys that you can set here. When I'm on my switching server screen, I can hide my webcam here too by pressing number pad 4. Switch to that scene with number pad 1. You need to set this up. Like, especially if you're a DayZ streamer, you need to hide your server information as much as possible because assholes love to stream snipe you. So this is incredibly important to make sure that you can quickly switch. Nobody wants to alt tab and just manually click the scene. So I highly recommend using your number pads to do that. But for the most part, those are my settings, man. Like that's pretty much all that I do. You can just hit start stream. You can hit start record. You can even add different transitions for the scenes that you're in. But yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward. So I think from here, getting your follow alerts set up using either Twitch alerts or Gaming for Good, and that's not that difficult. You just go to those websites and just follow the instructions there. They'll tell you how to set them up. It's really not that difficult. You can also like mute and have different audio mixers here with OBS Studio, which is nice. My intro is right here, which pops up, which plays a video. But yeah, just use this little plus section to add different layers. So you have to layer these things in to make them look nice. But overall, that's it. There's really not much else to it. If you guys found this video useful, then let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you guys want to see anything else, I know a lot of people want to see my setup. It's not that impressive, but I can do that for you guys sometime. So definitely let me know. And if you guys have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. But again, I am not an expert at this. I just follow what the Reddit, like the subreddit, reddit.com/r/Twitch. So this is all information that I've gathered from that subreddit. I'll put a link to that actually in the description box. Any streamer should be going there and reading that on a regular basis. It's where streamers go to help each other out, basically. So yeah, have a great day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for some Q&A.